not through the NHS. This was something that we had to self-fund. We were lucky enough to find a package that the cost involved in 2 rounds. So we went on this journey. We started with our injections. At this particular point, the clinic didn't ask for any testing or anything like that. So we had the actual ones from the NHS. So we injected twice a day. And then they get to a point where you do a trigger point, which basically stops you ovulating. You go for a scan and you check like your follicles are the right length. At that particular point, because I haven't got a very high AMH, I only think I had about 8 follicles. And it doesn't mean that a follicle will have an egg or an inside it either. So the day of transfer, we managed to get 2 eggs on our first round of IVF. So we were pretty pleased with that. However, on the particular day, they gave us the option to put 2 embryos in. So we decided, because at that particular point, it was about 20% chance of us falling pregnant, we decided to put both of them in. So that's the beginning of my journey. We did fall pregnant. My pregnancy, it was like the best thing in the world. So it's like your dream comes true, and it was something that this is waffle, by the way. It was something that I just thought, this is amazing. You go through IVF, you fall pregnant, and it was the best thing on earth. And when you go through IVF, you go and have a scan pretty quick. So I think it was about 6 weeks, 6 to 7 weeks, I had my first early scan. And you go along to the clinic, they did a scan, and you expect this big congratulations, you know, this is, you know, your time, this is your baby. And unfortunately, Ian and I didn't have that. We had very much, oh, hang on a second, let me just go and get a second opinion. So they came in, there was a yolk sac. So for anyone that doesn't know, a yolk sac is where you will find the embryo in beds, and then you've got a fetus that starts growing, which it's any normal other person, like normal being, to me that was the baby. There was a heartbeat, but the yolk sac was enlarged. So Ian and I were actually sent away saying that I'd probably end up having a miscarriage. So that was probably the hardest thing that anyone could probably send away with at that particular point. I didn't understand, this is like the biggest thing for me, and this is why I like to reach out to people and talk about it, because we didn't understand what that meant. And you're going on this IVF journey and you just think that, you know, it's medicated and it's science, but you know, you have a baby. And then, yeah, so I was sent away. I was absolutely devastated. I was told to come back in a week's time. I remember standing in the kitchen saying to Ian, I don't understand, I don't know what this is. And Ian was like, it's a baby. And I'm like, no, like they didn't say, it was that big whole, you know, we all watch films and everything, and it was that whole big congratulations, and I didn't get that. So yeah, so basically we went back in a week's time, and I sat there, and they were very good in the fact that they sat there and explained to you exactly what was going to happen if you were going to end up having a miscarriage. And then they explained to me exactly what they wanted to see for me to go away and say, yeah, it's a viable pregnancy. So after 20 minutes, we sat there, we went for the scan. It was an internal scan. And she said, congratulations. She was like, there's your baby. And this is where I start crying. So yeah, so basically they sent me away saying, you know, these are your photos, and you can go and basically contact your midwife now and wait for your 12-week scan. And so that was that. So we were sent away, we were very happy. But there was something in the back of my mind that wasn't quite right. And at the time I had really strong pregnancy symptoms. So I had sore boobs, I had quite a bit of nausea. But as the weeks went on, we were going away for a friend's 40th birthday, and I said to Ian, I want to go for another scan, because, yeah, basically, I don't know, there was something in me, and we were going to Morocco, and I didn't want to have a miscarriage in Morocco. And then, yeah, we went for a scan. We were 10 weeks, and there was no... There's no heartbeat. So yeah, that was just heartbreaking. And I think the biggest thing is that you're sent away and you don't understand, and nothing's really explained. They just say it's just not a viable pregnancy. And when you're that far along, you have to go for a procedure as well. So I booked in for a manual vacuum aspiration, which you're not put to sleep for. I have to say, I found it not very pleasant. I had gas in it and ended up hallucinating, which was a bit crazy. But yeah, so after that, you're just literally sent away, and they say here's a few helplines and things, but I just didn't really understand why it went wrong, what happened. You know, you think that you start thinking your future, everything's there, you're going to have a baby, and you think about how you're going to announce it to everyone, and it's the best thing in the world, and it's taken away from you very, very quickly.